Thousands of children marching barefoot across Europe. No armies, no weapons, only faith and the promise that God would make the impossible happen. They believed the sea would part for them. Instead, it swallowed them. This is the Children's Crusade, one of the strangest, most tragic events in human history. The year is 1212. Europe is obsessed with the Crusades, holy wars meant to free Jerusalem from Muslim control. But by then, every crusade had failed. Thousands of knights were dead. Hope was fading. And then came a boy. A 12-year-old French shepherd named Stephen of Cloyes claimed Jesus appeared to him. He said Christ gave him a letter, a message ordering him to lead a crusade, not of soldiers, not of kings, but of children. He preached that adults had failed because of their sins. Only the innocent could succeed, and somehow people believed him. Within weeks, villages emptied. Children left their families, convinced they'd been chosen by God. They called themselves the Army of God's Innocents. They sang hymns as they marched. They carried wooden crosses, banners painted with doves and suns. Their parents begged them not to go, but they were unstoppable. Faith had blinded fear. At the same time, far to the east in Germany, another boy, Nicholas of Cologne, claimed he'd been chosen by God too. And soon, tens of thousands followed him. Some were children, others poor farmers or wanderers, all united by one idea: God would protect the pure. They walked for months, across mountains, through storms, starving and exhausted. People in towns gave them scraps of food or mocked them as lunatics. Many froze to death in the Alps. Others simply vanished along the road. But the survivors kept walking because they believed the sea would part before them. Stephen's group finally reached Marseille, a city on the southern coast of France. He told them, "When we reach the water, God will part the sea." They gathered at the shore, they prayed. Hours passed. The waves stayed still. Then, as if scripted by fate, two merchants appeared. Their names were Hugh the Iron and William the Pig. They told the children, "We have ships. We'll take you to Jerusalem for free. God sent us to help." The children cheered. 5,000 boarded 7 ships. They sang hymns as the sails rose, convinced they were sailing toward the Holy Land. But 2 ships sank in a storm near Sardinia. The others didn't go east. They went south to North Africa. And there, the merchants sold the children as slaves. Some were never seen again. The rest were scattered, victims of the worst kind of betrayal. Meanwhile, Nicholas's German crusade faced its own hell. After months of walking, only a few thousand survived to reach Italy. They begged the Pope to bless their mission, but the Pope told them God did not call for this, and just like that, their holy purpose vanished. Some tried to go home, others died along the way. Few ever saw their families again. So what really happened here? How could tens of thousands of children leave everything behind and no one stopped them? Because people were desperate for hope. The Crusades had drained Europe's spirit, so when a child claimed to have divine orders, it felt like purity reborn, a sign that maybe God hadn't given up on them. And that's the dangerous beauty of faith. It can move mountains or destroy those who carry it, but was it really all children? Some historians think children meant the poor, the innocent, the unarmed. Maybe not toddlers, but peasants and teenagers swept up in religious hysteria. Still, the story spread and the image stuck. Thousands of children marching to their deaths became a symbol of blind devotion, a warning passed down through centuries. And what about Stephen and Nicholas? Stephen was reportedly arrested for heresy. Nicholas may have died on the road. Their followers were forgotten, their bones left along the paths of faith and famine. But the legend refused to die. For centuries, the Children's Crusade haunted Europe. Writers used it to show the danger of fanaticism. Voltaire mocked it. Kurt Vonnegut reimagined it in Slaughterhouse-Five, calling modern soldiers children led to slaughter. Because that S, what the story really is, a mirror reflecting what happens when the innocent pay for the ambitions of the powerful. The Children's Crusade wasn't just a tragedy. It was a message, a timeless warning. That blind belief can be as deadly as a sword. That innocence can be twisted into fuel for someone else's cause. And that even good intentions can pave the road to ruin. Picture it. 1,000 barefoot kids standing on the shore, staring at the sea that never parts, singing until their voices break, believing until their hope kills them, and somewhere, centuries later, the same story repeats. Different faces, different gods, same blind devotion. Because the Children's Crusade never truly ended. It just changed names. Every time faith becomes fanaticism, every time innocence is sacrificed for a greater good, their footsteps echo again. They believed they could save the world. Instead, they were swallowed by it, and that's the cruel, unforgettable truth of the Children's Crusade. Faith without reason isn't salvation. It's sacrifice.